Through what you need to do to submit your assignment 1 materials. This should apply for both 1A and 1B, and it will help you understand what your folder structure needs to be, as well as a couple common pitfalls about structuring and naming your programs, your class, and pathing for your assignment. I'm going to start with a clean clone of the repository. So I first need to find myself the repository. I will need to dig it up from GitHub. So what I do is I have my browser right here. Go to code, copy HTTPS, and if it doesn't work, you can try SSH, but you may need to set up some authentication for that. So I'm going to slide this off the screen, clone the repository, and hit go. And I'm going to open this repository right now. I trust the authors since I wrote it. And you can see I've got my layout here. Now, most of you have already started at this point. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to rename some of your classes. Let's say that I'm making a new class called Rocket Bike. In that case, the right way to do this is going to actually be able to rename, right-click and go to rename, the sample class as Rocket Bike. Now, this has asked me to make refactoring changes. Refactoring means changing the source code so that the functionality doesn't change. So it allows you to restructure the code. In this case, it will update all the naming references throughout the code so that the name is consistent and all your links work. If you've already messed with the names or folder structure, this may not help. You may need to do some additional verification, but I'll walk you through how to do that. I do want to do this, so I'm going to hit OK. You'll see that Rocket Bike is changed, and you'll see that test sample class actually imports Rocket Bike now, rather than sample class like it used to be. And you can do this again. So if you go to test sample class right here, you can see it imports sample class. But if I go to Rocket Bike here, I might actually want to rename this. So this is the next thing you want to do. You can go to rename symbol. And so I could type in Rocket Bike. And we save that. If we go over here, we can see that it's actually updated. So that's an automatic refactor. It's a very powerful feature of the IDE. So we have Rocket Bike now renamed. You'll notice that it hasn't updated any of this comments. So just to be complete, I'm going to rename all these as Rocket Bike. Now, normally what you're going to do is then implement your class in here. For assignment 1A, it's your stubs, and for assignment 1B, it's the actual implementation. We've walked through this in class, but this will be able to help you out for actually editing it. So now it's updated. So anytime, I'll make another change. This is currently in the sample class package. So Rocket Bike, I've changed the name of the Python file to be the same as the name of the class. Often if you have one class defined in one file, the convention is to name it in camel case. So you have capital R, capital B, and the name of the class is the same as the name of the file. So in my package, I'll want this to also be known as Rocket Bike. So I right-click this, and then I'm going to rename it. If I type in Rocket Bike, in this case, you'll probably want it all lowercase. It asks to make refactoring changes. I said OK. And then you'll see that in test sample class.py, it's rocketbike.rocketbike. And everything is all updated throughout the code. Obviously, the comments don't update. So again, you want to check all comments before you go. But things are looking good. So I've now renamed Rocket Bike and Rocket Bike package. Since I've made a number of changes, I'm going to commit. So if I go over to my source control panel, you can see it's made a number of different changes. I can click on the plus to stage all of these for a commit. That just means that they are things that I'd like to save in my commit. And I'm going to type in refactored, or probably renamed, sample class to rocket bike. And click commit. So one thing you have to do before you commit is you have to save all your files. Fortunately, it catches this, so I'm going to save all my files and commit the changes. Now you'll see that sync changes has appeared over here on the left. When you commit, it only saves it on your local machine, such as your laptop. So then I need to click sync changes to push that to GitHub, and you need to do this as submit or else we don't have your code. So I'll click this, it'll push to origin/main, which is the main branch. In this class, we don't talk about branches typically, so don't try and work with them unless you have additional experience or resources for Git. But I'm going to say OK. So now it's syncing it and it's committed. And you can verify this by going over to your repository window. And if I refresh, you can see that it's updated things now. And I see that it's Rocket Bike. So you can see the changes. That's how you know that you've uploaded it. And you can see that it's all named here. So you can see all of the different code. Okay. So we've only started editing this. And so we're going to keep editing it to make sure it's in the right format. So I'm going to go back to my Explorer. And now things have frozen. So hopefully that doesn't stick.